Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Google Summer Academy Strategy Sprint in the house. And today we have live sales funnel coaching. The whole Summer Academy is about your business and how you can grow, especially in this year, in these funky times. So we are here to help you find ways to grow your business. And who is we? It's Markus Kienberger, Certified Strategy Sprint Coach, former head of Google Austria. And it's Simon Severino, founder and CEO of Strategy Sprints. We are here to help you find growth ideas, very, very applicable ones. And the way we do it is we will coach one of you. It's René with a consulting business. We will coach René for 45 minutes. And while we coach him, you can use the chat, and please use the chat. Ask all your questions like you are doing right now. We are around 80 people here, and use the chat to ask your questions in real time. Markus will collect and cluster the questions, and the last 15 minutes, we will do the Q&A based on your questions. So please, directly, whenever you have a question, put it in there, and Markus will collect them, and at the end we do a Q&A. Markus, René, and Simon together. So our sprinter animal is excited. We are ready to start. You will learn 3 things. While we coach René, you will learn also for your business. You will learn how to optimize your targeting, how to reduce your costs, and differentiate means breaking free from competition, or at least making your competitors less important for you, and how to make sales your superpower. Because this is really important all the time, and especially in this year. How can you make sales your superpower? So the live sales funnel coaching today is for our coachee, René. I will bring René in right now. Hello, René.
Hello, everybody.
How you doing?
Simon. Fine, and you?
Cool to have you here, René. So, René is owner of a management consultancy, 5 employees, turnover 450K, profitability around 20% EBITDA, conversion rate 90%. His industry is the professional services, management consulting, and the current challenge. Can you tell us the current challenge?
Yeah, you wrote it down, Simon. It's the scalability of our business. So at time being, I do the most of work I do myself, and we want to scale a business. So I only have 24 hours. That's my pain, you know.
It's beautiful because we all have 24 hours and we all know how fast that goes.
Yeah, you're
and
right.
The interesting thing is also, also Warren Buffett has 24 hours. Also, I don't know, put in your favorite name of a high performer has 24 hours. How can we optimize this? And this is exactly what we're going to look at right now. So if I got it right, your vision is to scale your business by certifying in-situ consultants.
Exactly, yes, right.
And you don't plan for exit.
No.
Your goal is in 12 months to have 40,000 Swiss francs in revenue per month. Right. In 6 months, also 40,000 per month, and your current revenue is around 30,000 per month.
Exactly, you got it.
And then you were asked in the audit what your confidence is in achieving that. You said 8 out of 10.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about why 8 and not 9?
Yeah. I guess you wrote it down. The number one, it's founder of the bottleneck. That's really the key issue. So we are now team members, and we founded the company together, and we believe we are the best guys, ever for this consultancy job. And now we have to leverage it and to scale it. And of course, you have to give away our competencies and also have to trust new people come in. So I believe that's the most tricky part at time being. Yeah. And of course, also for profit-wise, it's not the best case, if we do ourselves everything. So in the day-to-day work, so we need to scale. Otherwise, it doesn't work. Exactly because it's reason 24 hours per day, no more.
Absolutely. So you said founder as a bottleneck. Yes. This is something that is important. And we have around 80 people right now watching. Many of them will have the same situation. I had the same situation myself 4 years ago when I started my business. We start something because we are excellent at doing something. So we do more of it. It's our superpowers. It's natural. And then it becomes a great product. Then we start streamlining, systemizing it. But then it becomes a company. And the company is really something different. And now we need to switch gears. But we didn't learn that in university. We didn't learn that in school. There is no school that teaches that, actually. So the different levels of building a company, and our sprinter animal says that's freedom. The levels of freedom increase with every step, but there are some things to do to get to the next step, and it's building systems. So when we start out, we have a job. We are talking now, your business is a consultancy business. So the consultants, Rene is a great consultant. He gets a job. Swiss medium-sized company says, can you help me internationalize? So Rene goes there, he delivers the job. He does it well, so he gets more applications for this job. So he has a series of jobs. A job is then when you have to go there and deliver the work. Now Rene is transitioning to the next stage, which is having a business. The time limit, the 24 hours, is a hard limit. You cannot scale, you cannot do more jobs. You could work over the weekend, but that's not a very healthy option. You can cut out from family and friends, but that's also not a long-term option. So there is a limit to that. In order to move to the business, he has the right idea. I will certify people. So I will put my knowledge out of my head. It's not about me as an ego. It's about what works. It's about the impact of my tools and of the system that I created. So I will create the system. I will certify coaches. And then I will be on the level of business. Also, I have to, bit by bit, get out of being in the business and working on the business. That's how I get to CEO. Now, as a CEO, I do only strategy, vision, and joint ventures, but less fulfillment, admin, marketing, etc. And the last stage where we have ultimate freedom is when we completely go 3 steps away from the business, hire a new CEO, and this new person runs the business. So let's see. The first step is to create some systems. The logical first systems to create are the sales system. So a system that gets you leads in, qualifies them. We will see what is a qualified lead versus a lead. This is really important here because you have a sales conversion of 90%. This is much too high. So we will need to build in a filter that filters out the not qualified leads. We will go deeper there. Another system is the onboarding system. How can we onboard the client in a simple way that is even semi or fully automizable, that you can really do in... Yeah, we have the first question, right, Carolina? 90% of the conversion rate. Exactly, that's too high, and we will go in there in a second. And so the first system, onboarding system. Second system, sales system. And the third system will be the NPS system. We have to create the first key systems to get Rene out of the weeds so he can do more growth. And one part of that is doing sales. But when we do doing sales at the beginning, he will be doing sales himself. But the goal is to move him upwards on that ladder that we saw, so that he will only work on form, fit, and function of the sales system, not doing the sales calls himself anymore. But of course, for this year, he will do the sales calls himself. And we will, in this session, see how that sales call can be optimized. Rene, tell us a little bit, who is it for your product? Who is it for? Who is the ideal client?
The ideal client is a small and mid-sized company in Switzerland with a certain pain of grow, maybe hasn't grown in the last years or have some bottlenecks in the growth pipeline. So it's the ideal customer. And maybe more precise, we like to work really in a, let's say, in product-driven world. So not services so much, more premium products around this environment.
Cool.
Like furniture or glasses, sunglasses, kind of this, or now we do a system for ski binding. So all this premium sales.
Beautiful. And to just quickly answer Carolina Newton's question, why is it 90%? How that happens that the conversion rate is 90%?
We started the business, let's say, a couple of months ago, and so primarily my jobs came from my private owner network. So of course, when your network calls you and asks for a job to do, so of course, then it's a very high conversion rate. But of course, as Simon said, it's not the best case. We need also to lose customers. Also, we need to have a look on the profitability. So if you only take all jobs, maybe your profit is not as good as it should.
It is wonderful to leverage the personal network, and it's definitely the only thing to do in the first 3 years of building a business is leveraging your current network. Absolutely. Still, and we will deep dive into that, you have to give a clear definition of your not ideal customer and of your ideal customer to your network, and then help them filter out who are the right people that they refer you to. Word of mouth is the best thing you can do in sales. I will not call this marketing. I will call this sales, because it really creates revenue in this month. So it's the best thing that you can do. But you have to tell them this is the ideal client and this is not the ideal client. And we will see how to do that. Now let's move to product. Tell us a little bit about the product.
So we have different services which we offer. One, it's a consultancy service for business development. And then we offer interim management, and we offer marketing services for small companies. And now we developed a product, and this is the product we want to scale. It's Ingita. Ingita is a scalable product for the business for small and mid-sized companies. And so there we developed really an approach which you can leverage. Ingita.
So Ingita stands for internationalization?
No, it comes from it's a different, it's nothing specific. It's just a mix between Latin and Italian language, but it means approach, it means energy, it means passion.
Cool. And what about the price?
So we have a price tag for each service. So we have 3 models. It's the sales approach is like a SaaS product, software as a service product. But of course, approach is analog and not digital. But the price tag, it's for startup and small companies, is around 35,000 Swiss francs, and then it goes up to a tailor-made solution. It will be around 75 to 100,000 per job.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Now we go into the first tool, which is interesting also for all the other 80 people in this room. The outcome will be, if you do this, you can optimize your targeting. And the tool we're going to look at, we call it the ideal client. It's one of our accelerator tools. We have an accelerator of 90 days where we help business leaders like you double their revenue in 90 days. And one of the first exercises we do there in week 1 is the ideal client. Let's go directly there. This is one thing that I learned from Google, actually. So thank you, Google. There is demographic targeting and there is deeper targeting. If we just go for demographic, we will miss the people. We will not hit the ground. One example. So your target customer is a Swiss small or medium-sized company that wants to go international.
Yes.
Now let's go deeper. Let's play together. Everybody in the chat. Let's see who can. Oh, wait a second. The product is what? Interim management plus. Let's go back for a second. Rene, Erwin Hemmetsberger did not get what the product is. Let's go back for a second. What is the product again?
So we have 3 products. One is consultancy service for business development. Other one is interims management. And the third one is marketing services. And now the product we are talking, it's Ingita. Ingita is a product. It's like a SaaS, software as a service, and it calls Ingita. And Ingita is a scalable product which we want to offer for a small and mid-sized company to grow international.
Okay, hope that helps, Erwin. Thank you, Rene, for clarifying again. So, and now let's play this game. Let's see if you can find out who is this person. Write in the chat. Let's see who wins. The age is plus over 65. He has kids. He's married twice. He's born in England. He loves dogs, and he is a high net worth individual, so wealthy individual. Who can this person be? It can be at the same time Prince Charles and Ozzy Osbourne. So if we just go for demographic targeting, we will not get any sales done, either on the left side nor on the right side, right? Because we did not even understand them. Let's see how we can do it better. The good news, you don't need 100 clients, especially you right now, Rene. You are in a high ticket business. So you don't need thousands of clients. You need in the first year 10 super fans. And in your whole business history, you need 100 clients. So the good thing is you don't need even the 100 clients right now. Right now, you need only one client, but 100 times.
Mm. Good.
So,
good. Very interesting. I like it.
Yeah. So if we can now understand who this one client is, and then help you from there to make this client super happy, then this client will bring you 3 more clients, because everybody knows other people. So this person is in a social network. They will tell other people, hey, I did this with Rene. It helped me internationalize. You should do that. You are exactly at this point. Can I introduce you to Rene? So let's get there. Let's try to be more precise. Because when we found this one person, we use personally the NPS system. It's one of the key systems that we love and we install with our clients. So we ask every 30 days, every single customer of us, what's working well, what's missing, what can we improve? Would you refer us to somebody? And if they say 10, so it goes from -10 to +10. And if they say +10, then we really ask them, okay, who is this person who should work with us? And then we follow up. This is one way of doing sales, which is a very sustainable, respectful, personal way that fits very well to high-ticket businesses like yours, Rene. So if we can get that one ideal client really happy, then from there, every one client can bring 3 clients. And I was teaching this the last 17 years, and nobody could see the math when you have 1 people spreading to 3, that this is an exponential growth. And today, in Corona year, everybody sees the curve. What happens when 1 person spreads to 3? You see that this is exponential. So it's a nice way to grow, especially in the first years of your business. Mm. What is the ideal client and how do we do that? We do that in the first week of the sprint with this ideal client checklist. It's a simple spreadsheet, a Google spreadsheet, and we ask what are the mandatory criteria and what are the nice to haves. So when you tell who your product is for, you go for the mandatory criteria first. And you try to install a filtering system where you ask these mandatory questions as early as possible. You don't get 1 hour on the phone with them if they don't meet these criteria. Because you would waste their time and you would waste your time. So what is a friendly way of saying that you are not the right one, that you are happy to help find the right person, but you don't need an hour of a sales call for that? In order to get to this criteria, there is an exercise that we do. And it is, you can take a longer walk or go up on a flip chart and do a mind map. What are their dreams? What do they want to do? If they are B2B, like in your case, what are their business dreams? Cindy Ospina is asking why every month to measure NPS. We will go there in the Q&A. Thank you, Cindy. So if they are B2B, their business dreams, what's the vision for their business? How can you contribute that they realize that vision? How can your product be a contribution that that vision comes true? The fears is super important. Most people, especially in the sales situation, so shortly before the close, 70 to 90% of the people think about the risks more than the opportunities. We had a major breakthrough in growth with our sales when we introduced the guarantee, the 100% money back guarantee. Because 70% of the people, before they buy something, they think of what's the risk. So think of their fears. What can go wrong? What's the risk? What if it doesn't work? What keeps them awake at night? Their goals. What are some milestones that they need to achieve? And can you help achieve 1 or 2 of them? Their basic needs. Needs is on a much more deeper level. Basic needs are belonging, community, safety, influence, authority, basic needs. And then beliefs. We are big in beliefs. What are they absolutely certain of? Like, I believe this is the right way to do X. I believe to internationalize my business, I need to go Z. Pick them up at their bus stop, because if they have this belief, you have first to touch this belief and then to move from there. If you pass by that belief, they will never get in contact with you. You will not connect. Because beliefs are very strong. They make our identity. Pains. What is something that hurts? This is the best way to start the conversation. Because when something hurts, you have my attention. I have a headache. You have something that can solve the headache. I want it now. You have my attention. And then also some more subtle stuff, like what are their hobbies? What do they do outside of their business? Sports. Because you learn also a lot by the kind of hobbies, the kind of sports, the kind of magazines. You learn a lot about the deeper person behind that. And at the end, it's always one person who decides for your product. So that's the avatar exercise. Is there anything that pops up, Rene?
Is this the same, or in your term, it's also the buying persona, right?
Yeah, it's like the persona. In design thinking, they call it persona. We call it avatar. At the end, it's the ideal client. Who is the ideal client, and how can we understand them on a deeper level? How can we get deeper in understand where they really are, where they want to go, and how we can be part of the journey?
Mm-hmm.
So that was the first tool. And there is a structure to excellence. You cannot take a structure from a blueprint from Tesla or from somewhere and put it onto your business. This is not working because you have to be true to yourself. But there is a structure to your excellence, and it is these three questions. The first one is, what makes your offer remarkable? So worth making a remark about. And spend as much time as possible thinking about that. It will increase your sales. So paradoxically, when we talk sales, we have to improve the product because the product is part of the sales system, of course. And then how can you make it easy for people to make remarks about it? For example, there is a restaurant in Berlin that when you go there, it's hard to differentiate as a restaurant, as you know, because there are many restaurants in one street. But in this restaurant, you can go there with your dog, which is a differentiation per se. And when you get there, on the phone, they ask you for the name of the dog. And you might be surprised, why do they want to know the name of my dog? So when you go there, there is a water for the dog. The name of the dog is there. And then they pour the water from not just a bottle, but an old whiskey bottle. You can imagine this is an experience so much more valuable than an average restaurant experience. People who go to this restaurant, they will tell all their friends. They probably make a picture and put it on Instagram also, the name of the dog. So this restaurant has made it easy. First, it's a remarkable experience. Second, they have made it easy for people to tell about that. Carolina Newton says, I think you do the exercise to create a persona. Yes, but the persona sometimes stays on the level of superficial demographic targeting. They say, this person is Emma, she is 42, she lives in London, she likes to shopping, etc. We try to go even deeper. So yes, it's a persona exercise, but a very deep one. So first, make it remarkable. Second, make it easy for others to make remarks about it. This is the best way of doing marketing. And third, map out your unique, we call it the value staircase. So each step of the interaction with you should create some value and open the next door. When we say map out, the most simple way to map it out is awareness, nurturing, close opportunity, closing, fulfillment, retainment, upsell. This is probably true for all our businesses. You can start with that generic steps and then make it more and more precise every week according to your business. And now think of the experience that you're trying to create in awareness. What can you do to make it a remarkable experience? In nurturing, what can you do to make it a remarkable experience? And always value first and then invitation to engage. Value first, invitation to engage. Next step, value first, invitation to engage. And now what we really love to do is measure every single conversion rate. Junge Römer is asking, what means make remarks? Make remarks means telling others about it. Like I am telling you right now about this restaurant in Berlin. The clients of Rene will tell their spouse, their colleagues, their friends when they play tennis, their friends when they go together on vacation. Making remarks, just telling others. Can be in the social media, can be just in every human interaction. Okay, this is the structure to excellence. Create a remarkable experience, make it easy for others to tell about it, and then map out every piece of the staircase, how you build up value once after the other. So one example is we had an innovation workshop with a client where we would create one new product in one day every year. But we wanted this client to tell it to other people. So we started the innovation workshop on top of a mountain when the sun rises. Which means the workshop did start at 5 o'clock in the morning, which is unusual for a workshop. And the participants needed to wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and go up that mountain. And on the mountain, the workshop would start 5 o'clock in the morning. And then we would go down all the mountain together, talking about the persona, the avatar, all these things. And then when we were down in the city, then we would do the workshop. And then at the end of the day, when the sun goes down, the workshop would end. And we had a prototype ready to be launched. This was easy to make remarks about because for months they were telling their friends, we did this sunrise workshop. They forgot that it was about innovation, but they remembered absolutely vividly that it was something about sunrise. The sunrise workshop. And they told everybody, oh, we were on the mountain and the sun was coming. It was amazing. Georgi Antonov, we are in B2B. How do you describe the B2B customer? You know, Georgi, I have stopped doing this differentiation of B2B, B2C a couple years ago, because in both cases, so Rene is in a B2B business. I am in a B2B business, but you are in a B2B business. But at the end, we think always about the customer of the customer. So think both. The B2B means you need to understand the decider first, but it's a person. So do exactly this exercise for the one person who is deciding. Can be the CEO, can be head of marketing, can be purchasing. Whoever is deciding in the company is your first ideal client. But that's not enough. You have to think about their client also. And this is the whole value chain. So how can you help this person in the company who's going to buy make their customers happy? So you make two ideal clients and you try to understand the full value chain. That's why I don't think in B2B, B2C anymore, because you have to understand the person buying, but you have also to understand the person using the product, the end user. So it's the same exercise. Okay, the value staircase we talked about. Awareness, interest, nurturing, sales opportunity, closing, fulfillment, referral. And if we go around that, you can start with that and think at every point, what is the one value that you can add? What is the one value that you can create? And what is your invitation to the next step? So in awareness, what value can you add? And what's the invitation to interest? In interest, what's the value that you create? What's your invitation to sales opportunity to make them 70%, 80% ready for closing? And then there again, some value that you create. And what's the next invitation? It's always a series of creating value in your authentic way. So your current sales cycle is 6 months, which is common in your industry, but you can reduce it to 2 to 4 weeks if you create a system out of this. So test one value creation, one wow moment for every single one of these stages. And when you have found it, you can make it an automated system, like a series of emails, a LinkedIn reach out system, a Google ad system that nurtures every single point of the relationship. And that's how you can reduce the sales cycle from 6 months to 2 to 4 weeks, because the same experience just gets condensed. You need still 7 to 9 contact points before closing. It's not seduction, it is courtship. Seduction is, hello, here I am, do you want to marry me? That doesn't work. Courtship is, okay, hello, do you see me? I see you. How can we engage? Start laughing together, make a joke, have an experience, have the next bigger experience, have the next experience, etc. And every time more trust, every time more commitment. And we only do it if this person on the other side has an interaction with us that creates more energy and more opportunities in us and in the relationship. Otherwise, we don't go to the next step. So learn from your human interaction, which you are already doing, and try to replicate that in your B2B interactions. Because at the end, it's the same thing. It's humans deciding about this thing.
So Simon, you would agree that everything is try and error. Eh? You have to test it out, make some different approaches, try and get some feedback, and based on this, then you would try to streamline the staircase. Eh?
In the third tool that we are going to go to in a couple seconds is how you can measure your experiments. Yes, it's about experiments, but in a very disciplined way. It's about numerical experiments. I will show you the numbers in a second. So let's jump there. Even when we do emails, we like to have an RBS, a relationship building sequence of emails. It's 8 emails that you get. And even when we do that, we think of the belief map. And this is our Google spreadsheet that we use. Email 1, which belief does it answer? And then which proof can we give? Testimonials or cases or something else. Email 2, which belief do they have currently, and what do we want to tell them? So let's move forward. Your competition, you said these 3 companies are your current competition. That's a strong competition. How can you differentiate? The first question is, how comparable is your offering? And how can you reduce something so that you can be less comparable? This is really important. Less comparable means, and this is the second tool, reducing the things that make you comparable and also reducing the costs there so that you can put that budget in what is your superpower, in what differentiates. Let's see how this tool works. We call it the equalizer. So first thing is to simplify the offer. This is a typical client in our accelerator. It's service businesses, B2B, like yours. And as you can see, they have around 17, 18 services and products. And the percent of their total revenue, so 49% of what they do makes 25% profit margin. Everything else is either around 15% or between 1% and 5% profits. And this is a typical consulting company, a good one with typical numbers there. So the first thing, and this is an exercise that we do in week 2 with our clients when they do the accelerator, find what is currently working and let go of all the rest. The yellow one is what is currently working, and all the rest, they are spending just a lot of energy and money for things that they should stop doing. So first thing, simplify your offer. Find your winning activity and stay only there. Reduce all the rest. This is how you find it. You write the yellow one is your company and where you are good at. And then you pick one of your top 3 competitors, and that's the black one. And then you write down, okay, when people buy from me, what do they buy from me and from their competition? And from 1 to 10, how good are we? So on the right side, you put where you are winning. And on the left side, you put where you are average or weak. And this is what happens. You will see immediately what you need to eliminate, to do less of. Because you cannot win that. So stop competing for mediocrity. Stop putting money there. You can do innovation by reducing. And this is really important because many people think innovation, oh, I need to do research on top. I need to create something on top. Do nothing on top. The key to business growth is to simplify, to do less, but with a higher impact. So you eliminate everything on the left side. You reduce what is in the middle. By reducing, we mean manpower, reduction of budget and of manpower, of attention, of energy, of everything. This is where you cut costs this year. And then on the right side, this is where you double down on. Every cost that you can cut on the left, you will invest in the right side. Because this is where you already are winning. Like the example of the revenue stream of our client that I showed you, of all these 17 activities, 1 was winning. So put everything on that one. This is where you will upskill your people. These are the skills that you look for when you look for certified in CETA consultants, people to certify. This is the superpower that they need, and they need to be interested in that, and even to be passionate about improving that. And you can give them a budget. You can lead them as leaders from day one by giving them a budget that you take from the left side, and you say, okay, you will not just be a great certified coach, but you can also improve this with me. That's how you get better people. Because they want also to be part of the game, not just of the projects. So that's the equalizer. But now let's go to your question, which was, yeah, if you want to know more about the equalizer, we have a ton of differentiation cases for free on our YouTube channel. It's called The Strategy Show, and every day we have new cases there. So just go to The Strategy Show on YouTube. You can find a ton of cases. Now, your conversion rate, which is much too high, how can we create a qualifier system? So we have defined the must criteria we want to automate. We have the ideal client. Now let's go to the numbers. You asked, okay, is it trial and error? Yes, but a very disciplined one, a numeric one. So what are the right numbers? 90% of the people do not have a predictable sales. So they don't know what revenue in the next months will be. How can we go to predictable sales? The first thing is to write down the numeric estimation of your sales in the next 2 months. And there is a number. So many people don't know the formula, but there is a simple formula, and you can see it here. You map, again, it's these 6 or 7 stages that you have in the relationship, and you give them a confidence level. Let's say you have 10 people who are interested in your product. They will get 5% confidence level that they become a close in the next month. 5%, because it's a very low level. That number you put in there, and the formula will take it 5% of that Swiss franc number, and that's one part of your sales estimation number for next month. The next one that we have put with 10% is how many calls do you have in your calendar, because people want to talk with you and they did schedule a call with you. Let's give them 10% confidence level. And then you have the higher ones. They had a call and they are really interested after the call. You can give them 50%. They are really interested, 50%. And then we give 80% when we have a verbal yes. We are very sure that they will buy. We give them 80%. So it's like a traffic light. You try to look forward to your next month and say, well, red, yellow, green, this will be my sales estimation. And at the end, you have one number in Swiss francs. And this number goes into your income statement, into your financial planning system, which is important. You want to know the profits, the costs, the sales estimation number, the revenue, and what's currently on your bank account. These are the numbers that you want to have every day in real time, because you need this to take decisions on who to hire, when to hire, if to invest, in what to invest. So first thing, sales estimation number. The second thing is to get every 7 days these 9 numbers. You currently get 4 of them. We would also say get the costs for 1,000 impressions, the costs of acquisition of your customer, the engagement rate, the number of calls completed, the NPS for the last 30 days or 60 days or 90 days, and the LTV, the lifetime value. So you can either take the annual value, how much will your client spend in the next 12 months if you upsell, so if they're happy and they buy more from you. What's the annual value or lifetime value, even in their whole life? And then you put some numbers. This is your experimentation sheet. Now you put some numbers there and you say, okay, the current numbers are this. This is the number of qualified leads that I have. And remember, qualified is only the ideal clients. So 30%, 40% of people who want to talk with you are not qualified leads. You take now only the qualified leads and say, okay, how many did I talk to this week? How many of them became a client? What's the conversion rate there? And how much was the revenue that I generated in this week? This is the first dashboard that you create. And from there, you start estimating the next 30 days. What's your growth target? The next 60 days? How do you want it to be in 60 days and in 90 days? And if you want, you can add also a long-term one, which is a bit more than realistic, because you will learn on the way to get there. And this is now how you do the disciplined experiments. So yes, trial and error. And at the beginning, these are just estimations. I call them fantasy numbers. The first time you put numbers there, it's just fantasy numbers. They will not be correct. But please do it, because it's like the chicken and the egg. You don't know exactly which was first. So start with one and the rest will follow. The first time that you put these fantasy numbers in this format, they will not be correct. But then every 7 days, this is what we teach. The sprint length is 7 days. So every 7 days you measure this and your estimation becomes closer to reality. And then next week closer and next week closer. After 3 weeks, the estimation will be good. After 6 weeks, it will even be very good. After 9 weeks, it will be precise. And when you have these precise numbers, now you are running a business which you can rely on. And now you can sleep well, you can go on holidays, because you know what's coming. So it's important that the teams feel energized. So currently you are the team with your 5 people, but it's important that you feel energized, that you have a real-time feedback on these numbers. That's why we write them down. It's not just for the sake of planning. You want to feel the response on the things that you do. You need leading KPIs and lagging KPIs. Let's like Angry Birds. You do something and then it says 500 points. You do something, it says 700 points. And you say, yoo-hoo, can we get to 800 points? This is how, that's why we do a weekly review and a weekly meeting of 1 hour. And we go through exactly these KPIs. Let's go to the sales dashboard. These are the KPIs that you should check in your sales team, which is basically you right now. So let's say it's just one person, and then you will add the other person. If it's just your name, in this case it's mine, the number of discovery calls. So some people close in 2 calls, which is a good idea. The first one is the discovery call. The second is the closing call. We call it a demo call. First one, you just listen. In the second one, you propose. So write down the number of discovery calls. This is, again, a simple spreadsheet, Google spreadsheet. The number of people who did not show up. The number of people who were qualified versus not qualified. The number of people who bought for the first time. The number of people who bought for the second time, so an upsell. And then you have these numbers. And now you are not flying blind anymore. Now you know really what's going on in the business. And every single one of these will tell you what to improve in the marketing system, what to improve in the product, what to improve in the bucketing system. Because if you see that a high number of people who have a call with you are not a qualified lead, then you know you have to go back to the avatar and refine the avatar, the ideal client. If you see that you have qualified leads, but the closing rate is too low, then you know you have to improve your sales call, the sales technique. And this is where we go right now. So what the sales call itself has 10 elements. And we will deep dive this also tomorrow. We have a webinar tomorrow here in the Academy, 60 minutes about how to double your revenue in 90 days. That's where we will go deeper into the sales script. But it's really important that you have this flow. So first, so people call you and they want to buy. You have, let's say you have 45 minutes. It's important that you start with the agenda. Then you start qualifying. If they are a bad fit, you want to know in the first 5 minutes. Don't continue the full thing if they are the wrong person. And then you create a contrast between where they are right now, where they want to go, and the gap. And you let them feel this gap. Then you go to the benefits. You do not talk price at this stage. You do not talk features at this stage. You talk benefits. What are the 5 main benefits of working with you? Benefits are high level. Like when people want to enter our accelerator, the benefits are time, freedom, revenue. We don't talk about how the single templates will work together. That will be a feature. Benefits are very high level, value that you contribute. One benefit is you will have longer holidays. Very high level. Then we go to trial close. Here you try to find out if they will buy, but it's an open trial close. Then deliverables, now you say, okay, this is what I can deliver in the next 30 days, in the next 60 days. Again, a trial close, and then you try to close. And this is where the objection handling comes in. This is what we will deep dive on tomorrow. And it's really important that you schedule a next step. Whatever happens, in your calendar, you have a follow-up scheduled with them. Rene, can we open up for a second to the Q&A?
Sure.
All right. So let's bring in Marcus. Let me try to do this. Hey, Marcus, how's the chat going?
Hey, Simon and Rene. The chat is going well. You answered most of the questions on the go, which is great. There was one question around the the avatar. The question was, the original question was, if you do that for like an existing customer or also for a new customer. But I think the broader question behind is, are you doing this for one ideal customer or are you doing this for multiple customers?
Great question. Great question. Did I, in both cases, so I think my answer is in both cases the same, because I'm thinking, when do we do it with clients? It's best to have existing customers and to try from the existing customers to really niche down what's working best right now. This is because that's where you have the data. So of course the data will tell you what's going on. So if you have the data because you have already clients, this is the best way to start. If you have to, it's a startup, and if you have to start with fantasy, well, then you have to, but that's not the best way to start, because you have no data. You have only assumptions. You have still to validate the assumptions. So always start with where you have data. This is why we love working with Google, because Google is all about data. And data means you have the proof, the validation. And this is the best way to grow your business. And then the second part was, you do it for one or for many? We really recommend to focus on one. Focus on one for 1 year, for a very long period, where you can build it. You remember the four steps to freedom? Build one until it's up there, until it's fully optimized, it's working perfectly. You can go on a 5 weeks holiday with your family, you enjoy your life, you are not afraid about your business, and you are sleeping well. And then you start the second one. Because usually entrepreneurs, when everything is working well, they get bored and they want the next challenge. So that's the point where you build the second one. But do not go for 2 ideal clients at once. It will be not enough focus. You need focus.
Cool, thank you. I guess that makes sense. There was another question from Elizabeth around this idea of this remarkable experience. And the question is, if this remarkable experience, if we talk about physical products, if this experience should happen on the product level and or on the branding level. And I think that's especially relevant when you talk about multiple products under one brand, for example.
Oh, that's super interesting. And actually, I'm interested in your take, Marcus, because you have a huge also branding and agency experience.
Yeah, I think it's both in the end. I think the brand has always to be strong, and you can probably create remarkable experience on a brand level that are so strong that they impact the product level, so to say. But if you have like hero products that can tell the story for the brand, I think it's both. It's like bottom up and top down at the same time. I think the most important is it should be consistent. Yeah. So the experience on the product level has to be consistent with the brand level and vice versa. That would be my take.
Cool. We have 2 more minutes. We can stay here also longer if you want. I will just start summarizing here. So what did we do together? We have met 3 things that can turbo boost your sales in this year. The first one is you can optimize your targeting by going deeper into your ideal client, by thinking of what are their dreams, fears, pains, additional to the demographics when you do your targeting. The second thing is you can reduce the costs and innovate by doing less. And if you do it right, you will be less comparable. So you break free from competition. And you can do it with the equalizer. Map out the 8 things that people buy from you versus your competition. Pick the one where you are best, double down there. Where do you get the money and the people to do it? From the left side, because there you are losing anyway. The third thing is, how can you make your sales better and even enjoy it and make it a repeatable, reliable process? First thing, like Rene said, it's trial and error, yes, but a very disciplined one and numerical one. So listen to your data. Write down every day the calls that you have, the conversations, what you learned, the new objections, and do an after-action review. We like to do it in a numerical way with Google Spreadsheets. And but whatever helps you gathering that data, get the data and improve every 7 days. So slice your work in sprints of 7 days. If you want, you can do it with a sprint coach. We have great sprint coaches that can help you do that. Slice it in chunks of 7 days and then measure every 7 days and improve from there. So one part is your sales script and the other part is, one part is the sales numbers. And the second part is the sales script, which we will also deep dive on tomorrow. What to do exactly in terms of sales techniques so that when you are in the call, you can close more clients so that you can double your revenue in 90 days. Because tomorrow, so if you want a sprint coach, just let us know, strategysprints.com. We have coaches that can help you doing that. Tomorrow we have double your revenue in 90 days, the webinar in this academy, which goes deeper into the topics that we already had. We would love some feedback because we want also data and we want to improve our webinars. So we would really be happy if you give us some feedback. And if you want to connect to Rene, to Marcus, to me, to everybody here and continue this exchange of how we can grow our businesses, come to our free Facebook groups, Entrepreneurship in Sprints. We are happy to continue the conversation there. And we can also stay a couple of minutes more here and grab some more questions. We are happy to be here.
So if we do have more time, Simon, there was one more question rather at the beginning, which was around NPS. The question is, why should you measure this metric every month?
So thank you for that question. When we started, we had our clients telling us that it is a mental effort and emotional effort to do it, to ask your client, especially what are the problems. So what is not working well? It needs an emotional effort. So we thought about how can we make it as easy as possible. And we created the NPS system, which every 30 days automatically asks all current clients of our accelerator. So the first thing was how can we put it out of being something that costs energy? How can we make it easy? And we just took the 30 days because every 7 days we improve our product. So 30 days is something that in our world is a good cadence. But you can pick your cadence depending on what the value steps are in your business. So maybe for you it's better 15 days, maybe it's better 90 days. Depending on when the client can really give you feedback. Maybe it's even every day, maybe it's once a year. For us, the perfect one is 30 days because in 30 days they have 4 sprints. So there's a lot happening there and we want to improve the product latest every 30 days. That's how we came up with 30 days.
Okay, cool, thank you. Shall we continue with questions from the chat, or do you, Rene, have questions?
No, I'm fine for time being. Thanks so much, Simon. It was very interesting, and I have a lot of homework for the afternoon.
Absolutely. So Rene, use this for a pitch. Who should work with you, and where can they find you?
No, you find us on our website, successintime.ch. And the name is Success in Time, stress point time. It means we don't doing projects for over 6 months, so it's in time, and you find this on the website. Yeah, and we do consultancy work for a small and mid-sized company for business development and grow international.
Super cool. Thank you, Rene, for your openness and for sharing the journey with us. Super inspiring. Thank you, Marcos. Thank you, all the 80 peoples we had here. And yeah, keep rolling, everybody. If you have questions, come to the Facebook group and ask us directly or ask your peers. And tomorrow we have 60 minutes about how to double your revenue in 90 days. If you're interested, we have still some seats. It's a free webinar and it's the Google Summer Academy. So thank you, everybody. Keep rolling.
Thank you. Bye-bye.